can't hear y'all because it's so loud in here, but if you're having a good time, put a hand in the air. Put some hands in the air if you all are having a good time. Essence Festival 2026. So listen, we are going to get into the beauty that we inherit. Now, I got a question for you guys. What do we inherit from the women who came before us? Not just what's in the mirror, but the rituals, the wisdom, the truths passed down that shape how we build and how we move forward. This conversation is going to be a really good one because it's going to be based on all of those things. So joining us for this next conversation is our moderator, Kayla Greaves. And she will be joined by Diane Valentine and Janelle Stevens. So please give it up for these lovely ladies as they make their way onto the stage.
Hi, everybody. How are you feeling? We're at Essence Fest 2026. And this is my first Essence Fest, believe it or not. So let's get right to it. All right, the first person I want to introduce is Diane Valentine of Slay Hair. Hey, look at this. Look at her purse. That is from her brand, just by the way. And the second person is Janelle Stevens of Camille Rose. How are you guys doing? How are you feeling?
Yes, good.
Good.
Essence.
Essence Fest 2026.
Looking good, yes.
Okay, so as Black women, we know that for us, beauty is about more than just a product. You know, from our counter to the Target shelves where you guys are retailed at, this is about ritual. It's about passing things down from generation to generation. It's about love. It's about care. And that's why we have such an attachment and why the brands that we use mean so much to us. And we don't just take it for granted, right? So for you guys growing up, who was the beauty authority that you saw who gave you the example of what beauty looks like?
Well, for me, of course, my mother and my grandmother. I mean, that's who you see first. You live with them. And just growing up, I always say, even for my brand, Camille Rose, I dedicate it to my grandmother because she was the original Camille Rose. I mean, she lived until she was 99, rarely went to a doctor, and she made her own concoctions. So I get it from my grandmother. Beautiful complexion. And then even my mom, like when they dressed and did their hair, they took pride in it. Self-care was a must in our home, and they dressed with intention. So it's definitely the women that raised me, my grandmother and my mom.
Yeah. I would have to agree with you. For me, it started with my grandma Mary, and she was a stepper, honey. Let me tell you. So on Saturday, she would get her hair washed. She would press it. She would put her finger waves down to one side. She'd be ready for church on Sunday morning.
Absolutely.
So for me, learning how to show up at my best started with my grandmother. And then my mother, she was like the neighborhood beauty girl. Like, she took care of all my friends. She took care of my sisters. She had hair down to her booty. Like, she was just like the quintessential woman. And it wasn't just about beauty as in being beautiful, but it was really about beauty as understanding that as Black women, it's part of the armor that we put on every day. It's how we put on our wardrobe and how we go out into the world and in certain situations where the world hasn't been kind to us. Beauty allows us to walk with a shield of protection.
I think it is all about being intentional because growing up, I know my mom and grandmother, they went to the beauty salon every week. If not every week, every 2 weeks. So it was all about being intentional and just passing, those rituals down is a must.
Absolutely.
I appreciate
And I think it's so much about joy and pleasure and happiness and play and self-adornment. So you guys speak so highly of these women in your lives. What was the first beauty ritual you remember seeing from them? And what did it teach you about pleasure and how you control that for yourself?
For me, it was watching my mother wash my hair. Like, it was such a moment, it was every weekend. And it wasn't just washing my hair, but it was, massaging my scalp. It was singing to me while I was laying in the shampoo bowl. It was telling me over and over and over again that I was beautiful and that I was worthy and that my hair was like my crown, and that it was something that I should be proud of. And so growing up, for her, it was about instilling not just beauty rituals, but confidence and, admiration for just being a Black woman.
It's love. It's showing love. Yeah.
It is love, and it's organic. It's natural because just watching, our moms and grandmothers, they're just naturally taking care of themselves, and so it's just organically and naturally passed on to their babies. I remember just watching my grandmother. She had a vanity in her bedroom, and every night she would take her cold cream and just rub it on her skin. Her skin was amazing. And then she would grease her scalp. That was the thing to do. And then do 100 strokes, brushing your hair 100 times per night. So it's all a part of that self care that they didn't realize that they were naturally like setting the standards for their babies.
And I want to touch on that point too, because I think that when we're used to seeing these things growing up and we're used to these being our rituals, we almost not take it for granted, but we don't even realize that there's anything different than that, right? So when you guys have created these product lines, you've created two incredible product lines, what are something that you thought was just kind of like the way it is, but then you had this like aha moment. You're like, wait, I need to include this in my brand ethos or products or whatever.
So for me, definitely Camille Rose, it was all about ingredients and going back natural. I went on this whole quest for, okay, I got to find things that work. I got to find ingredients, herbs that really contribute to what, um, how we are embracing our hair today. Because the world was moving away from chemicals and relaxers, and we had to really embrace our style and embrace what we were born with and teach ourselves how to care for that. So, um, just finding, I knew that it was my purpose to make sure the products that I made for Camille Rose was rich in moisture. So that when you use the Camille Rose products, you really saw a difference in your hair.
For me, when I created Slay, synthetic braiding hair, it was really about fixing a problem. I couldn't understand why synthetic hair had been around since the 70s, and Black woman after Black woman was talking about the severe itching, the scalp irritation, the scabbing, redness. And I just thought, why is it this way? Why has nobody fixed this? This synthetic hair has been around for so long. And for some reason, Black women are so conditioned to suffer in silence. And I just thought, this can't be normal. Like, this can't be it. And I searched high and low for synthetic products that could be better, because we all want to wear braids. We all want a protective style. And we want to be able to do it affordable. We don't all want to spend $100 a bundle on hair for braids that you're going to wear one time.
And they only last 6 weeks about.
And they only last
It's
6
a lot of
weeks.
money in this economy.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. And so I just couldn't believe that it hadn't been fixed. And for me, it was a white space in our industry. And it was a place where I felt like I could make a difference. I could find my purpose. I could serve Black women and create something that was softer, cleaner, better, healthier for us. And then we could use Camille Rose products to finish it off.
I love that. Well, I mean, who's better to create for ourselves
Yes.
but us? We create products for us, by us. So, but I'm glad you're solving that problem. I'm glad you're solving that problem because
We are.
We definitely
Yes.
need to educate.
Yes.
Educate, and it takes a village. It takes a
Absolutely.
village.
And I love what both of you guys are doing because, obviously, Black women are the highest consumers when it comes to beauty. Out of every racial group there is in America, we spend the most. But at the same time, we're not represented when it comes to who's working behind these, who's making the products for a lot of us. You talked about, we're conditioned to suffer in silence a lot of the times because things are just not made with us in mind. So if you guys could spend a day with a beauty executive and take them to like a Black woman's home or introduce them to some Black women who have, heavy beauty rituals, What would you want them to learn from that experience about the way that we approach beauty?
For me, I think it's our creativity, how we take pride in ourselves, our beauty routines, our rituals, and how our hair matters to us, skin matters to us, and ingredients, the importance of them matter to us. We don't want to use anything toxic.
I think it would be so important for beauty executives to understand that Black women are not monolithic. It is not one size fits all. It is not one shampoo for all Black textures, right? Our Blackness comes in many different shades of brown. Our hair texture comes in many different textures. And I'm sorry, but the products that have been on the marketplace have underserved our community, which is why so many Black beauty founders are not only releasing these amazing brands, but we are thriving because we understand that our needs are different from other ethnic groups, and that's okay. We just want to be served the best.
And we deserve that. Like,
Absolutely.
why? I think oftentimes
It's our birthright.
it's our birthright. I think
Yes.
oftentimes we look at beauty and we think of it as this torturous thing or this laborious
Yes.
thing. And I really want to recraft that for Black women. Why can't it be a place for us to showcase our creativity?
Absolutely.
Why can't it be a place for us to have joy and pleasure and just,
Yes.
show who we are to the world through the way that we wear our hair or the clothes we wear or whatever? That being said, we are a minority in this space. And there are times when it's so easy to second guess yourself. Am I doing the right thing? Does the market want this? Am I putting out the right product? Tell me about a time when you guys have had to really hold on tight to your instincts and just say, I'm doing the right thing, despite what outside forces are saying, despite what other people are saying.
That's such a great question because when I started developing Slay, so many people told me it wouldn't work because I wanted synthetic hair that felt like human hair. I wanted to put hair in my head.
Which, by the way, it
That
does.
felt-
I touched that bag.
Ma'am.
It feels so good.
Get into it. But I felt like Black women deserve synthetic product that felt like our own hair, right? Why does it have to feel like a Brillo pad that we use to clean out the oven? It should be soft. It should be silky.
You gotta
It
touch
should
my locks.
flow. It should have
What?
body.
My locks is feeling like a Brillo pad. I need your. I need some Slay.
It's okay. Next time you'll get Slay.
Yeah.
You'll get Slay
And
next
it's my
time.
girl. Let me tell you,
Yes. She got a lifetime supply of Slay.
Period. We love that.
But yes, absolutely. So for me, God, when I started Camille Rose, I started in my kitchen formulating for myself. And I had no idea how to get a manufacturer to help me produce the products, more of products that I needed for my retail stores. So what I did was I had to find a laboratory, somebody who believed in the same things that I believed in, and I got so many no's because of the ingredients that I used. The
What was it
chemist-
about the ingredients that people were saying
we
no
use
to?
we use food grade ingredients. We use real ingredients. We use ingredients that you could pronounce. We use a lot of herbs, and the chemists they didn't want to do that. They wanted me to use something synthetic because I could save 10 cents, and I refused to do that. So my very first Target was my first retailer, and I sat in Target for a year and a half, still hand making every one of my products because yes, it
Wow.
was very difficult. Well, you
Wow.
Wait,
know,
tell us
yeah,
about that process.
Yeah.
What was that like?
difficult, and it took everything out of me. However, I did not want to change my formulas at all. I built Camille Rose on my website first, of course. And when I launched in Target, I didn't want my consumer to go to the retailer, get the product, and it's different. And so I got so many. You don't have to use that ingredient. It's okay. This one's cheaper, and it'll do the same thing. And I refused. So it took me a lot of research and grinding, trying to find a perfect partner who believed in the same things that I believed in when it came to formulating and ingredients. And it took me about a year and a half. So, but I used my kitchen as my own manufacturer, and I pulled family members in, and we mixed until I found someone that was right for me.
You know, it's so important you say that because when we were doing Slay, it was kind of the same thing. Our manufacturers was like, nobody's going to buy this because it's going to cost too much to make it. And I spent, 2 years developing what we call our Slay secret sauce. And so at the manufacturing level, we take the synthetic fiber and we strip it and we condition it and we add all these natural ingredients onto the product before we package it. And our manufacturers, the retail stores, the mom and pop stores, they were like, no one's gonna buy braiding hair at $8. Nobody's gonna buy that. And I was like, what are you saying? Black women are hungry for a better version of this.
And the data shows that.
The data
We will
shows
show up.
it.
We will show up and
Absolutely.
purchase when we find the right things for
Absolutely.
ourselves. Yep.
What we needed was a solution, right? And we're talking about the difference in $2 from the marketplace, right? So I had to listen to a lot of people tell me this is never going to work. But when you know you're
They
doing
think
something
we
on
don't
purpose.
deserve it, but we deserve it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
What was the best piece of feedback you guys have ever gotten from another Black woman?
Black women, let me just say this to all the black women out there. Black women are so dope and we are so wise, right? Because if we just take a moment and sit underneath people that are older than us, black women teach us everything we need. The best advice I've ever gotten is, Diane, you need to get really comfortable with being unapologetically you. And being you is going to make some people uncomfortable. Being you is going to make some people say you're too much and you're too big and you're too loud. And I'm so okay with that because I do dance to my own beat. But it started not just with my mother saying it, but with other black women in my life just encouraging me to don't try to fit in. There's enough people in the world fitting in. Be okay being different.
When did you really come into that? Like, what age would you say about you really came into yourself?
I think it was in junior high school, in middle school.
Early.
In middle school.
Early.
In middle school. I was class president, and all throughout middle school, I was valedictorian. I was on the debate team. So I always had a big mouth and I used it, right?
Same.
I wasn't the cool girl, right? I was the girl all the cool girls hated, right? Because I was a teacher's pet. I was all those things. But I just knew that there was no need for me to try to fit in with the in crowd because God created me to stand out. So I just got real comfortable with people not liking me or not wanting to hear me or saying she talked too much and all those things because I just felt like you just mad because I ain't talking to you.
Period. That's it. And how about you, Janelle?
It's so, for me, one thing that stuck with me is my mom. She told me to do for self. Do for self. And I remember calling her when I was in college, telling her, I didn't get this, or I didn't, get in this club, or, just very sad about a lot of letdowns. And what she told me was, so do it yourself. Go make it yourself. And when I got out of college, going after job, interviewing here and there every day. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't get the job. Call my mom. So do for self. Start your own company. And I swear to God, like it stuck with me. And that's exactly what I did. And Camille Rose is actually my second business. I had another successful business before this that I ended up selling to someone in that industry. But I felt like in my life, I had to always do for myself. And however I wanted to live, I had to get out there and create, the life that I wanted myself.
And real quickly, you guys, let's say there's a brand new customer. They've never tried Slay. They've never tried Camille Rose. They're walking into Target. They're like, let me give this a try. What do you want them to get from your product before maybe they even use it and then when they use it?
First, performance, number one, and feel a difference in their hair. But with us, with Camille Rose, I want them to feel like they have a trusted product. The product is going to say what the label says it does, and they don't have to worry about, you know, using something synthetic or an ingredient that's going to cause them to react. So it's all about trust.
For me, every time a woman, a black woman, picks up a pack of Slay, I want her to know that this is her opportunity to honor her crown because it's beautiful and it's special and it's worthy to be exalted. It's worthy to have the best products that they can have. And we cannot wait for the world to validate us and who we are. We have to walk in knowing that we are the baddest chick on every block. And sometimes it starts with a pack of Slay.
Period. And that is a perfect way to end. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you both. This was a beautiful conversation. Guys, we'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. for another Target panel. We hope to see you there. Thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of Essence Fest.